Hi, I'm Bill from CJ Pony Parts. It's no secret that air suspensions become very popular with late model enthusiasts. Many people feel that air is just to slam the car to the ground, but thanks to companies like Airlift Performance, air suspension is now a bona fide legit performance upgrade. While the factory suspension on the Focus ST is pretty impressive out of the box, we're looking to take ours to the next level by installing a complete Airlift Performance suspension kit. Today we're going to give you a basic overview of the installation and the operation of an Airlift kit using our 2015 Focus ST. Installing the Airlift kit isn't much different than a normal shock, strut, and spring upgrade. It includes 2 replacement adjustable struts with the bags already installed along with the strut mounts, an air tank to mount in your trunk, an air compressor to fill the tank, a manifold to control everything, a controller for inside your dash or glove box, and then a pair of rear bags, shocks, and mounts. The heart of the system is the Autopilot V2 manifold and control unit. The controller is going to give you 8 presets, as well as a rise to start and full control over the Airlift system within 1 PSI. The low-profile manifold is small and easy to hide, and it's going to take air from the tank and disperse it to all 4 corners. We're going to start the installation with the front suspension. You want to take the cowl off because you have to remove that. You got to get to the top bolt to remove the strut. We're going to start down here by disconnecting the strut from the spindle. I'm going to disconnect the brake line from the strut. I'll remove the bolt that holds the spindle to the strut. What we'll do is thread the bolt all the way out. And you want to put a piece of metal back here, put the bolt back in. That'll separate this enough to get the strut out of the spindle. Put the bolt in from the other side against a piece of metal. That'll separate the spindle and remove it from the strut. And give it a couple turns. You don't want to go too far, because if you push it too far, you won't be able to get the line back up when you install the strut. And then remove the bolt. Now's kind of the fun part. Now we're going to remove the strut from the spindle. Basically what you have to do is lower down the spindle and just kind of force it to separate it from the two. Sometimes it'll pop right out. Sometimes it might take a little bit of force to separate them apart. Okay, once we have that loose, I'll move up to the engine bay. Now remove these 3 bolts and you can remove your factory strut. Before you install the strut, you want to thread the line in. What you want to do is thread it in until it's hand tight, and then go a full turn and 3/4. One. And 3/4. We're going to put the strut up into place. Get them hand tight for now. Now we'll connect our strut to our spindle. Okay, what you want to do is jack it up into place. Now the new strut, there's a specific point where it's going to stop, so it makes it a lot easier. This will go on a lot easier than the original is going to come off. Once everything's in place, then grab the original bolt, thread it in and tighten it back down. Okay, you want to reinstall the brake hose, install the end link, repeat the process on the other side, and move on to the rear. We're going to start on the rear suspension. In the rear suspension, you're going to replace the entire control arm assembly. So we'll start by taking off the end link here, then remove the control arm and the spring. The spring is under pressure, so you want to make sure you support it, then remove this bolt and lower it down to remove the spring. Now we're going to remove the nut and bolt on the subframe to remove the control arm. Now we're going to remove one of the subframe bolts. This is where your upper perch for your airbag is going to mount. You've got 3 other bolts holding the subframe in place, so removing one, you don't have to support it. Now simply put the bolt into the perch and reinstall it. You want to make sure you grease up both ends of the control arm. Then we're going to attach it to the airbag. What you want to do, these 2 holes here are threaded for bolts, and that's your air fitting. You're going to line up with the 3 holes on top here. Kind of want to get everything started by hand first before you try to tighten it down. It's a very tight fit. And again, 1 3/4 turn past finger tight. We're ready to install it. We'll start by hanging it in the outer location here. I'm going to grab the factory bolt and put it through the new control arm. You want to leave it loose, don't tighten down all the way, but get it close. Now we'll put the other end of the control arm into our subframe. This part could be a little bit tricky, you might want some help. You gotta kind of force it up there and you may have to twist it a little bit and push out on the spindle to get it to line up. Reinstall the washer. Tighten down. I can go back and tighten up the bolt for the outer to the spindle. And reinstall the sway bar inlay. And repeat the process on the other side and you can move on to the lines. Once you have the bag mounted at all 4 corners, now it's time to mount the tank itself, the compressor, and the manifold. There's a couple options here. One, you can make it very visible in the trunk if you want to show it off. In case of our focus, we're going for the stealth look, so everything is hidden underneath the rear trunk panel. The components back here are pretty simple. You have your compressor, which fills the tank stores the air for the system, and sends it out to the manifold, which splits it up between the 4 bags based on the controller. Now we'll show you how the system works. This is the controller for your airlift system. When you first turn it on, you're going to be in manual mode, which is why you see these arrows. Basically, these are all 4 bags. You can adjust the pressure individually. The number at the bottom is going to be the tank. What you want to do is hold these 2 buttons down here. About 10 to 15 seconds, it'll go into training mode. This is where all your presets are. Your first adjustment is going to be how much tank pressure. Then you'll have a calibration mode, which you want to go into to set the whole car up once you're finished. And down here, if you go down a page, you see rise on starts number 7. Once you set a preset as your normal ride height, what it'll do is when you have that turned on, every time you turn the key, the car's going to go to your ride height automatically. So if you park at a show or whatever, lay it all out. As soon as you turn the key, it'll go back to ride height. The Airlift Performance Suspension Kit's an excellent upgrade for your Focus ST. Their motto is drive it, show it, and track it, which is perfect for a car like this. The air is going to be great on the road, you can't beat the laid-out look for your car show, and because it's a performance suspension, it's an excellent track upgrade as well. Whole installation is pretty straightforward, all a bit time-consuming. Figure 6 to 8 hours, you'll be back on the road in no time.